Hi everyone, and welcome to another Make It With Me Monday. Today we have a special guest, my friend Carmen. And she's actually going to be doing all the work today because she wanted to learn how to make granola. So granola is very easy to make and it's super healthy for you. Because when you make it yourself, you can decide how much oil and sugar or salt or whatever you want in it, as opposed to the one in the store, which can have a lot of oil, a lot of fat, a lot of sugar, and a ton of salt. So it's basically like eating a candy bar. So she wanted to make it herself, and so she can make it whenever she wants. So the first ingredient, obviously, in granola is going to be the oats. So these are pint jars, and I told her to get either rolled or quick oats. It doesn't really matter for this recipe. Just don't get steel cut oats because that will not work. So we have that. We have our oil, and this one is melted, but she decided to use coconut oil. Normally I use olive oil because it's just what I have, but we're using coconut oil today. And then we have honey as our sweetener. You could use brown sugar or agave if you wanted, but we just have regular, I think it's local honey. Am I right? Yeah, it's local honey. So it's good for your allergies as well. We have our nuts for some protein. What nuts did you decide to put in there?
I have some walnuts and some almonds.
It's not a lot of nuts, but if you wanted, you could add more nuts. You can pick all almonds, all walnuts. When I make it, sometimes I'll put in sunflower, the kernels, the insides. We do a lot of walnuts or pumpkin seeds. The inside of pumpkin seeds are really good.
They are good.
And then we have some flavoring, which is vanilla and some cinnamon. And then in the back, by my napkins over there, is some sea salt. Because you do need a little bit of salt, but not too much. And then for utensils, obviously we have all the containers. We have our bowl, we have a spoon, because we don't want to get our hands dirty. But I like to mix it by hand myself. And then we have a tray set up on the other side. We'll show you in a minute. And our oven is set to a very low temperature, about 200 degrees, because little pro tip, granola burns super fast if you're not watching it.
No, good to know.
So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to dump in all of our dry ingredients. So the oats are going to go in. All the nuts are going to go in. And then we're going to add the cinnamon.
And how much should I add, Joanna?
It depends on how much cinnamon you like.
Okay.
So if you like a lot of cinnamon, you could put a lot in. If you only like a little bit, put a little bit. I wouldn't put in more than a tablespoon.
Okay.
Maybe about half a teaspoon to a teaspoon, I think is optimal for the batch amount we're making. And then we're going to stir it. And then a little bit of sea salt. Just a little drizzle. If you like your granola saltier, obviously you could add more. You could add in salt substitute even if you wanted, which isn't sodium, it's potassium if you have a sodium issue. So you could do that too. Mix that in. Then we're going to add the honey. So obviously if you like sweeter granola, you could put in a little bit more. It's about a tablespoon. Oh, I'm so good. Okay. And mix that up. And then we're going to slowly drizzle in some coconut oil. And the consistency we're looking for is we want it to be moist, but we don't want it to be wet. It's a fine line, I know. Just add a little bit of time and stir. And the oats and everything should start to clump together. And that's how you know they're moist enough. And obviously you could adjust how much oil and honey and dry ingredients depending on the batch. When I make it, I usually make it in bigger batches, and so I don't measure it out. I just kind of throw it all together. But that's actually looking pretty good. You can see that some of the oats are clumping together, and that's what you want.
Does that look good?
Yeah. And then if they're super clumping together, like there's a little ball right there, you want to make sure they're separated out, because that could be just a glob of oil or a glob of honey, and you really want it to mix in with the rest of it. So the last thing we're really going to do is add some vanilla. And again, that's going to be how much you like vanilla. I like a lot of vanilla, so I'll usually put in half a tablespoon or more, but if you only like a little bit of vanilla, you only add a little bit of vanilla. That's what makes making your own granola so much better.
It's perfect.
So you're just going to keep stirring it a little bit longer, and then we'll show you it transferred to the pan. We'll see you guys in a minute.
Yeah, I know. Like, am I in focus?
Hey guys, we are back, and now we're gonna, so this is a very small pan, and this is a well-used silicone mat. I like to use the silicone mats with everything because it helps everything not stick, and granola won't stick too bad, but keep in mind it does have oil and sugars inside of it, so it will stick to most pans, unless you let it cool, and then it'll just come right off. So we're just going to evenly spread a layer on top of the pan. And you don't want to overload your tray, because the less granola you have on it, the more it's going to evenly toast. So you might have to do your granola in multiple batches, depending on how much you're making. But I think all of this will fit on one pan, and it'll be just fine. And it will shrink a bit as it toasts, because you're taking some of that moisture out. That looks perfect. So now we're going to pop this into the oven. I have it set at about 225, and what you're going to want to do is check on it every 5 to 10 minutes. And I know that seems like a lot of work, but if you don't and you just let it toast, you're going to very easily burn it, like I said before. So we will come back as soon as it's toasted a little bit. So now we have the final product. Yay! You see, Carmen wanted a really kind of light toast on hers. But I make it really dark. It's not going to focus very well, obviously, on this jar, but because it's shining and stuff. But maybe. You get the picture.
Yeah.
So that's a darker toast. This is a lighter toast. It's going to get a little crunchier as it continues to cool down, and just store it in an airtight container. That was in like a clasp jar. You can store it in a mason jar, which is what Carmen's going to do. And Carmen likes to eat it with cashew milk. I like it on yogurt or with regular milk. Or you can put nuts, raw nuts, or you could put chocolate chips or dried fruit, and you can make it into trail mix.
That's true. I usually add chia seeds before I eat it in my cereal.
That's another way you could do it too. If you add chia seeds, I wouldn't put it in like we did during the mixing, just because then you'll kind of ruin the chia seeds. Yeah. Because they need to absorb the liquid.
And they could pop. Rot. Oh, they could also pop. Yeah.
I guess they could. Yeah. But that was basic granola, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up, or if you have any comments, leave a comment.
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up. Alright, see you guys next time.